It's a chilly day in early April as I record this episode. I'm recording it in a tank top in the superstitious hope that what I'm wearing will influence the weather to bring on summer a lot faster. I'm drinking hot chocolate because so far the weather hasn't paid attention. It's time for the fourth edition of Behind and Ahead, where we transition from the previous year into the next year. So we are closing out 2022. If you're a regular viewer, you may notice that I didn't have an episode specifically focused on September through December of 2022. And that's because basically there's nothing to show. I got back from Great Britain. See the previous episode, by the way. And I experienced some reverse jet lag, not as bad as going over, because I don't think my body ever quite got used to being 8 hours off its normal schedule. I think I'd have to live there quite a while before I felt like I was at home in that time zone. But I got back, I had some jet lag, then I had catching up on things to do that got put off while I was gone for 2 weeks. I also had to really focus on earning money because the trip burned up more income than I thought it would, and my wife was at home while I was in Britain, and I would text her to say, how's the money in the bank? And she'd say, it's running low, and I'd say, do you have any to spare from your business account? And anyway, just due to gasoline, an insurance policy on the rental car that I was not expecting, $500 the moment I checked in to get my car, because apparently my American insurance won't cover it. There were expenses that just, that trip was, it was a trip of a lifetime, and at that price, it may be once in a lifetime. But anyway, so there was some illness involved, and there were the holidays. I still need to be a husband and father, and so my excursions to the gym were few and far between. They did happen. I have a little bit of footage here. I'm not even going to create a montage out of it. I'm just going to play it here while I'm talking, and most of this actually is from late September, just before I turned 48, kind of trying to get myself back in the habit before a new year of life began. And then I had my 48th birthday, and I don't even think I have any pictures of it. I don't have any video. It's been it was quite a fall of 2022. And by fall, I mean autumn, sorry. We should quickly take a look at the weight chart for 2022, because I deliberately held off some information from my previous workout journal entry, because I wanted to highlight this. And I think I mentioned it in the Britain episode, but I don't think I showed it on the chart. You can see where I went to Great Britain. And you can see that between the jet lag, getting ill from the jet lag, and then never really recovering from that, always feeling a little sluggish during the day, not having an affinity for foreign food. I apparently did not eat much compared to what my body needs, and the weight dropped by a lot, and you see it there, and it just went down, down, down. It did then come back up, bounced back up for the rest of the year, so my net loss for 2022 is pretty low, but at least it was a loss, unlike, if you recall, 2021, where I actually ended weighing more than I began. And so that's the story there. I think those are my notes on the weight. I did get down to 219.8 on October 1st, so I did break below 220. But for the, 12th year in a row, 10th, 11th, 12th year in a row, I have not dropped to 200. So, which brings us to the goals, by the way. The goals for 2022, I'm not going to belabor them. I didn't reach a single one. Here are the usual, the big five. They have been my goals for longer than this video series has been in existence. And for many years now, I have never actually achieved any of those for various reasons, many of which are my own darn fault for not being consistent enough in the gym, not really applying myself in the way that I should. And we'll get to that. I have a mailbox entry that is, I think, is worthy of posting in this episode. As far as the additional goals that I tack on every year just for fun, I don't know. I just never wrapped my mind around getting Harry's push-ups done for 2022. I started pretty strong and then they fell off, and it just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if I've just been doing them too many years in a row and lost enthusiasm. I don't think so. I just, a lot of things didn't quite go the way I planned last year. So I did not ever finish. I got no money from Harry. I mean, not counting his generous gift of buying my airline ticket and paying for my rental car. I got no push-up money from Harry last year. Let's see. I only got one guest instead of 12. It was, I'm going to mess up his name again, Joseph Earl. If you saw the episode where I featured him, I got his name wrong. And anyway, it led to that episode actually being released in January of 2022. And that is my standard for counting guests, is what year does their episode get published in. So I have one guest from last year, even though I met him in 2021. His episode did not air until 2022. And I had no other guests for that time. Okay. I think that covers my notes for 2021. We will do the usual quick look back. Here's some energetic music, far more adventurous than probably the footage demands, but you know, whatever I pick. As I record this, I have no idea. I'll pick some music, I'll put some footage to it, and this is what 2022 looked like in a very short manner. 2023, I have the same 5 goals as every other year. The weight down to 200 or less, the body fat down to 10%, new PRs in all of the weight exercises that I track, enter the 315 club, and do a pull-up. I will throw in, I have an alternate, a variation on the push-ups with Harry. I won't talk about it in this episode, but there is a push-up challenge, and it does involve hitting 2023 push-ups. I want to get 12 guests on. I'm going to keep trying for that. I gotta start just hounding people and say, hey, you want to be on my show? I want to enter a powerlifting competition. I think I mentioned it last year. I know I didn't put it in print on screen, but I think I mentioned that last year I was trying to do pedestrian activity, so walking, jogging, and hiking, of 365 miles, average a mile a day. I didn't make that, but I am trying that again this year. And as we record this, I am on schedule. The first 3 months, I have stayed ahead of a mile a day average, sometimes only by a little, but I have stayed ahead this whole time. So I'm on track to get 365 miles of pedestrian activity, pedestrian cardio logged by the end of the year. Was there something else? Well, the film project, which if I have time, I'll talk about here. Otherwise, I'll save it for the next episode. I know I've mentioned it, the Better Body Starter Kit for Men. Last year, I did not get anywhere on that. So my goal of my unprinted goal, I think that one was also unprinted. My unprinted goal of getting 20 minutes and 22 seconds of rough cut did not happen. This year I'm aiming for 20 minutes and 23 seconds of rough cut. And I don't remember what I've said. Part of the problem is sometimes I'll record something, but then I'll realize I just don't have time for it in an episode, and so I don't include it. So I need to go back and just watch all my episodes and index them. In fact, I think I will save it for the next episode once we're officially covering 2023. This is just the intro and the goals. Let's go do the mailbox. I do have one comment that I want to include. In reviewing my fitness history and counting those years where I really did take it seriously, so starting from 2011 forward, I've said before, maybe not on camera, but I have said it, that 2012 was my best year. My weight got down to 211. I worked with Bill Brannigan and Mark Prickett. I got a lot stronger. I got a lot more knowledgeable. That really was a turning point from I'm just a guy trying to I am a guy with focus, direction, and the education to make it happen. There's a deeper discussion about consistency and motivation in there, but that was my best year so far. And so Dominic recently posted on my bodybuilding network at the start of this year on one of my early posts, 2012 was not your best year. 2023 is. So thank you, Dominic, for a little motivation. That's always my goal, is to make each year the best year. And if I rank them, 2012 was the best. 13 through 17 were pretty low down. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 were pretty good. 22 mediocre. I want to make 2023 the best one. So I felt like highlighting that comment. It's going to be a little tricky because we are 3 months in. Gym life has been sparse, and of course for the past month I haven't even had a gym or the money to invest in getting a new membership, because gyms always have that sign-up fee of $50, $60, $70, and it does not cost them $50, $60, or $70 to put your name in their computer. That is a fee designed to get you to stay longer, so that you don't, 2 months into it, you go, I think I'll change gyms. No, you 2 months into it, your brain goes, wait, I spent an extra $50. I don't want to waste that. It's a psychological thing. It does not cost them that. So there's my expose, by the way, on gym fees. But got a couple places I'm going to look, including a place recommended by 2 people I work with. And so I think that covers the comment. Thank you again, Dominic. And I'm going to do what I can to make 2023 my best year. And I get to close this episode with a first. I created a graphic intro years ago on the assumption that, especially in my far more uneducated state, even though I still have a lot to learn, back then I had a lot more to learn. I figured surely in one of my early episodes I would say something incorrect. Something incorrect about fat loss, weight gain, muscle gain, how to perform a certain exercise. So I was prepared in case anybody sent a comment or an email saying that was incorrect. I created an intro, and I have yet to use it until now. Here it is. In episode 62 about my adventure to Great Britain, I talked to you about meeting a young man named Liam that I know from the Discord server, the Odyssey. And while I was there in Great Britain, I never heard him say his last name. I didn't even know his last name. The only reason I know his last name is because it's on his Instagram account. So I took a wild guess when I said out loud on episode 62 that I met up with Liam Smith. He's British. He promptly informed me after watching that episode, after complimenting the episode, I'll give him that. He did say I mispronounced his last name. And there was a discussion in the chat room about the proper way to say things, and one other guy was pointing out a Y is pronounced as I in so many other words. I should have known. To which I promptly said, well, okay, what about myth? Yeah, and that ended the conversation. Anyway, so I think I was excused for saying Smith, but I will go on record as saying it was incorrect. It is Smythe. At least I think it's Smythe. We had a long, it's, when you're typing, you have to use capital letters and something, and Liam spelled it out as SM capital EYE lowercase th. I think that means Smythe. I don't think it means Smythe, but if it does, then I'm still pronouncing it wrong when I say Smythe. But either way, it wasn't Smith. So we've cleared that up, and I got to use my errors and omissions intro that I have been waiting over a decade to put into practice. So thank you, Liam. All right. That wraps it up. That's everything I want to say. That is the transition into 2023. So episodes going forward can cover a whole new year, the 5th year of my presentation here on A Body in Progress. And I really do hope, I really do plan to do what I can to live up to Dominic's assurance that 2023 will be my best year ever. I expect you all to be very I don't know if strict is the word I want. Don't go easy on me. I get compliments from people all the time saying, Brian, you look great. And I say, well, I'm not where I want to be. And they say, no, you already look great. And I know they're being encouraging and motivating, and I don't discount that. But at the end of this year, if I don't look fantastic compared to how I am now, I don't want you giving me a free pass. All right. Just about done with my hot chocolate. I'm definitely done with this episode. See you next time. And that is the last new footage that you will see from the Redmond Athletic Club, because in February of 2023, I got kicked out.